I recently had a friend ask me about cloth diapering and is it actually worth it? All the supplies that you need. And the answer for me and my family is yes. But there's a few caveats. I still buy disposable diapers. Very rarely though. I'll get a box and it'll last me for like 6 months because I don't use them all the time because when we're at home, we mainly use cloth diapers. But when we go out in town or we're going to be at church all day or something like that, it's a lot easier to pack this in the diaper bag versus a whole bunch of these and covers and all the things and just having to deal with that. So what I would say is you don't have to be a purist if you're going to cloth diaper. You can have an 80-20, 50-50, whatever it is, because at the end of the day, these are really expensive. They're convenient, but you pay for it. So do they actually pay for themselves? Because they can feel kind of expensive to get into cloth diapering. But when you think about, okay, I'm going to drop, when you first start off, you know, the newborn sizes are a little cheaper and that kind of stuff. But when you're buying like size 5 diapers, you know, they're like 40, 50 bucks a box. Thinking you're changing diapers multiple times a day, you know, what if you go through 8 diapers? Like, it adds up fast. So in reality, these things tend to pay for themselves pretty quickly. So here's what I do. I really love these Green Mountains. They're Clothezz diapers. So these are the flats. And they are really cool because they come in different sizes. So this one is a medium, this one is a large. So they come in different sizes. That way, as your baby grows, you still keep a really good fit. So when I first started cloth diapering with my oldest, Shelby, a couple years ago, back in 2019, I got these. So these are your traditional pocket diaper. You know, you just put some like microfiber inserts in there and put them on. Now the problem with these is you can never get a good fit. They are adjustable, they've got all of the little buttons and snaps so you can make it smaller. But what I found is no matter what I did, her little running baby breastfed poops went right out the side. So it was super frustrating. I always had leaks. If she was sitting funny, there would be a gaping hole, so then her pee would just squirt right out. It was really, really frustrating. And so through trial and error, I then had a friend who gave me some of these. And these were awesome because just like our disposable diapers that fit so nicely around the legs, they have kind of this gasset here, as it's called. That is what fits nicely around the leg and holds everything in. So these have a double gasset here. So it's able to fit real nice around their legs and hold everything in no matter what position they're in. So these were awesome. So I really enjoyed using those. So then when I had my second, I got some more of them. These are the style that I found on Amazon. These are super cheap. These are like $8. And this one I've had, I think I actually bought these when we had Shelby, when I started searching after I was given some of these. I was like, okay, that's what we need. So these were like $7. This has lasted me 6 years. It is starting to wear out just a little bit, but super good shape. It still has lots of elasticity in here, so they hold up super well. And they have this elasticity in the back too, so you don't get as many blow-ups out the back. So those are what I use. So with these, you can still use like your simple inserts, but it doesn't quite hold everything in as well, right? And depending on what position they're sitting, not as great. So that's when I started figuring out flats. So at first when I got flats, I would just fold them like this and stick them in there, and then that works pretty well. You got like triple padding and all that. But then what really changed the games were these snappies. So rather than having snaps or clasps or pins or anything like that, you use those. So it's got these little grippers on it and it holds onto the diaper. So I have a stuffed animal here. Let me bring you guys down. All right. So say this is my baby. I've got it all the way flat right now. Then you're just gonna fold in under their legs like that, where you guys can see. So it folds in. Then you flip it up. And then, okay, I just kind of stretch that part out over. So it's kind of down here now. Tuck and fold over top from, so that's the bottom one, tuck over top. You take your snappy and you just hook it right there. Do the same thing on this side, hook over top. Oop. And then you pull this one down and you've got a perfect diaper. So then that gives you that great fit all around their legs, around their waist. Everything's held in super well. And then you would just put your cover on right over top. So that would go over top and you're all good. And this also has those adjustable buttons, so when they're smaller, you can still use the covers and get a really good fit. So what's really cool about these is they have the different sizes. But what they also have in this brand, these are called the workhorses. Let me show you these. So these, if you're really new to cloth diapering or just want some more convenience or like folding feels intimidating, these are awesome because this is basically a diaper. You just fold it straight up like that, hook those over, use your snappy, and you're good to go. And they come, again, in all these sizes, which can feel more expensive because you have to get the different sizes, but they fit so good. Oh, let me turn you guys back around here. Okay, because there's nothing more frustrating than leaks. So that's why I ended up going with these guys, because the leaks were so frustrating with the pocket diapers. I never felt like I got a good fit. But being able to use the inserts, the flats, and the workhorses were so worth it. And then it was really easy to say, okay, it's nap time, she usually pees a lot. Then you use one of the like little inserts like this. This is a Thirsties hemp insert. And you just take that and you lay it right on top, put your cover on, and now you've got that added absorbency. And it's awesome. So I already talked a little bit about covers and things. This is another really good cover. I think these were given to me from a friend. They are Rumperoos. So these are really nice too. So this gives you the option. It can be a pocket diaper. But what's cool about these ones here, I'll get a little closer. They have a double gasket inside. They have this really nice elasticity, and they're Velcro. So you can actually just Velcro it. Super easy, no snaps. So that makes it a little bit more adjustable than even the snapped ones. Only problem there is as your kids get older, they might unvelcro it. So there are definitely some Velcro one options. This is another one. This is a Grovia. It's got Velcro. Super simple. This one's really old. It was given to me by a friend, so the elasticity is kind of wearing out. And you just put it there. The thing to know about the Velcros, though, is that whenever you go to wash it, you get like fuzz and stuff stuck in here, and then your Velcro doesn't work so well. So that's something to be aware of. I usually tend to go for the snaps. Again, these cheap $7 Amazon ones are my favorite. They last super long, they hold up super well, and I just love this double gusset, and the fit is so good. So yeah, let's see here. Was there anything else? Oh, wet bags. Okay. So if you are going to cloth diaper when you're on the go, they make these little wet bags. And these work really well just for putting dirty diapers in. It's usually got a pocket or two pockets. So that way you can put all your stuff in there. So those are great. At home, there's lots of fancy stuff you can do, but basically just get yourself a giant wet bag. This one's pretty big. And when the diapers are dirty, you toss them in here. Now, if you're doing pockets, I would say go ahead and pull the liners out, put them all in here so that way you don't have to touch them again later when you want to throw them in the wash. Make sure you don't wash your diaper wipes by accident or your snappies. And then, let's see here. Yeah, for breastfed babies, until they start solid foods, you can just throw their poopy diapers straight in here, and their poop is water soluble. So you don't have to do anything extra when you're washing it. Now, once they start solids, you have to rinse out their poops in the toilets and flush that away. Otherwise, you'll end up with a mess in your washer. So that's kind of what we use. So the Green Mountain Diapers is the website I usually get these guys at. You can usually buy a pack of 12 of the flats, and they have sizes all the way from newborn up to like toddler sizes. So this is their biggest size, these green ones. So this is an extra large, and this would totally fit like a 2-year-old. They're humongous. And so they make that small or extra small newbornish through extra large. I would say what I usually do is these are sold, I want to say, in 12 packs. So get you a 12 pack of the different sizes of the flats, because these are your most economical choice. If you want some convenience, get yourself a couple of these, watch for sales. They're super nice to have, far less intimidating for other people who might come to your house in cloth diaper. Just nice to have to throw on. Now, do you really want to invest in all those sizes? So of course, you can get them as your child grows. Decide, okay, newborn phase, like we got a bunch of diapers from the baby shower. skip the newborns if you need to. You know, I really didn't cloth diaper at newborn until our third child because I was like, okay, we're not having baby showers anymore, we're not really being gifted a bunch of diapers, and I already had built up my supply of the larger sizes, so I was like, okay, this time I'm going to invest in some newborn sizes. Now newborns go through a lot of diapers because they pee and poop constantly, so you would need quite a few quantity wise, so you just have to choose. And it's again that like 80-20 rule of, okay, I'm going to throw on a disposable now and we're going to use cloth diapers later. And so what I usually do, sometimes some kids wet a lot at night. Mine generally are not too bad, so there are times when I'll cloth diaper at night, but for convenience sake, a lot of times I'll use a cloth diaper at night. It lasts them all night. I don't have to worry about them feeling wet or anything like that, and it works really well. And then once they're older, I have all of my kids so far. So my youngest one is 18 months. He's still in cloth diapers, of course. But my two girls potty trained themselves, and I think it's largely because we cloth diapered. They understood the concept, they knew when they were wet versus dry, when they had to poop, all that kind of stuff, and they just potty trained themselves. So that might be an added perk too if you cloth diaper, but it's totally worth it. Even if you don't think you're going to cloth diaper all the time, get into that routine, cloth diaper when you're at home, use the disposable diapers when you're going in town. I always found that they fit better in their car seats with a disposable diaper, especially when they're little, so there's just less bulk to them. But after that, like, use your cloth diapers when you're at home. If you can, while you're away, if it's easy for you, if it works for you guys, cloth diaper in town too. I found that once I figured out these with the folds and the snappies and all that, I barely have any leaks, which is amazing. With Shelby, my first, I would have like leaks multiple times a day, and it was so frustrating. So find what works for you. Invest just a little bit when you're starting out. Make sure you like a style before you go all in. But I would definitely try these guys out. Get yourself some flats, get yourself some workhorses if you're able, and just give it a try. Because at the end of the day, say you spend $100 on cloth diapers. If that can save you even 1 to 2 boxes worth of diapers that you have to buy, you're going to be money ahead, which is wild. So I would say give it a try. We really enjoy cloth diapering. There's tons of benefits, and there's always the thought of this diaper is going to take 200 years to decompose in a landfill. So that alone is insane. Versus I can use this and use it for multiple years over multiple babies, and maybe it only costs me like $5 to buy versus buying multiples of these over the years. So with Oliver, he's 18 months. I think I've only ever bought, now we've been gifted a couple boxes of diapers from my parents, but I think I've only bought like 3 or 4 boxes of diapers. So I've still spent maybe like $200 during his lifespan on disposable diapers, but then the rest have been cloth diapers, so it's wild. So even if you're not going to do it 100%, I'd still say it's worth it. Cloth diapers are awesome. Once you get comfortable using them, they're definitely the way to go. Alright, thanks for watching. Super fast. Just wanted to give my thoughts, and for a friend of mine who asked questions, I was like, so much easier just to video it. So, hope you guys didn't mind my cold. I'm getting over a virus, and I will see you guys next time.